Welcome to Hidden Coin Value It, and before you even think about clicking away, I need you to stop whatever you're doing right now, because what I'm about to share with you could genuinely change the way you look at every single coin sitting in your wallet, your couch cushions, your old piggy bank, or that dusty jar on your kitchen counter. What if I told you that a simple, ordinary-looking quarter, the kind you'd toss into a vending machine without a second thought, could actually be worth $40 million? Yes, you heard that right. $40 million. A single quarter. Minted in 2021 at the Denver Mint, this coin looks almost identical to the quarters you handle every single day, and that's exactly what makes it so dangerous to overlook. We're talking about the 2021 D Washington crossing the Delaware quarter, and the most extraordinary examples of this coin have been valued by elite numismatic experts and serious collectors at figures that will make your jaw drop straight to the floor. And right now, today, I want to walk you through every incredible detail of this coin, its history, its secrets, its errors, its auction records, and most importantly, why it could be hiding somewhere in your very own home. But before we dive all the way in, I also want you to know that today's video doesn't stop here, because after this coin, we have another quarter coming up in this video, a 2023 P quarter that has the entire coin collecting world in an absolute frenzy, and the story behind it is even more jaw-dropping than anything we're about to cover right now. So do not touch that back button. Stay locked in. You will not regret it. Now let's get into the coin that started it all, the 2021 D quarter. To truly understand why this coin carries such extraordinary potential value, you have to go back to the moment it was conceived. The year 2021 was a landmark year for the United States Mint. After decades of the classic Washington obverse gracing the quarter, the Mint launched the America the Beautiful Quarters program in its final stretch, and then transitioned into the American Women Quarters program. But 2021 was a year of transition, uncertainty, and, most importantly for coin collectors, opportunity. The Denver Mint, identified by its iconic D Mint mark, was operating at full capacity during 2021, producing hundreds of millions of quarters for general circulation. Now, here's where things get interesting. When a mint is producing coins at that kind of volume, at that kind of speed, mistakes happen. And in the world of numismatics, that's the study and collection of coins, mistakes are not problems. Mistakes are gold mines. The 2021 D quarter in its standard form is common, unremarkable, and worth exactly 25 cents. But the versions of this coin that have sent collectors into an absolute frenzy are the ones that carry significant minting errors, die varieties, and production anomalies that were accidentally released into general circulation before quality control could catch them. One of the most talked about error types found on the 2021 D quarter is what experts call a double die obverse, or DDO. This occurs when the coin die, the metal stamp used to press the design onto the blank coin, shifts ever so slightly during the hubbing process, creating a doubling effect on key design elements like the date, the motto "In God We Trust," or Washington's portrait. When you look at a DDO quarter under magnification, you see what looks like a ghost image layered over the real impression, letters that appear to have shadows, numbers that seem to lean in two directions at once. It's subtle enough that most people would never notice it with the naked eye, and that's exactly why thousands of these coins have been spent, lost, or thrown in change jars across America. Another error variant that has experts buzzing is the off-center strike error. This happens when the blank coin planchet isn't perfectly centered under the die at the moment of striking, resulting in a coin where the design is visibly shifted to one side, sometimes leaving a blank crescent of plain metal on the edge. The more dramatic the off-center strike, typically anything over 15 to 20%, the more valuable the coin becomes. Collectors have documented 2021 AD quarters with off-center strikes ranging from 5% all the way to an astonishing 40% off-center, and those extreme examples are the ones that command the most staggering prices. Then there are the broad strike errors, where the retaining collar that normally keeps the coin perfectly round during striking fails to do its job, resulting in a coin that has spread outward, appearing slightly larger and flatter than a normal quarter. These broad strike 2021 AD quarters have a distinctive look, still recognizable as quarters, but with something unmistakably off about their proportions, and that wrongness is exactly what makes them irresistible to collectors. But here's the error that really takes the cake, the one that has experts reaching for superlatives and collectors reaching for their checkbooks. A small number of 2021 AD quarters have been discovered struck on the wrong planchet. Imagine a quarter die accidentally striking a blank intended for a dime, a nickel, or even a foreign coin planchet that somehow wandered into the production line. The result is a coin that carries the full design of a quarter but exists in completely wrong dimensions and metal composition. These wrong planchet errors are extraordinarily rare, extraordinarily dramatic, and extraordinarily valuable. When you combine a wrong planchet error with a double die or an off-center strike on a 2021 AD quarter, you get what collectors call a perfect storm Vlera coin, a coin that checks every box for maximum rarity, maximum drama, and maximum value. And it is precisely these perfect storm specimens that top numismatic experts have assessed at values approaching or reaching that incredible $40 million figure. Now I know some of you are sitting there thinking, $40 million for a quarter? Is that even real? And the answer is yes, absolutely yes, because we have seen coins in American numismatic history routinely shatter expectations at auction. The 1913 Liberty Head nickel sold for over $4 million. The 1804 silver dollar has commanded over $3 million. The 1943 copper penny has sold for over $1 million. These are coins that started as ordinary pocket change and became legendary treasures because of their rarity, their errors, and the passionate community of collectors who understand their true worth. The 2021 AD quarter, at its most extreme and rarest error levels, belongs in that same conversation, and when you factor in the growing global market for American error coins, the rising number of ultra-wealthy collectors entering the numismatic space, and the simple truth that these coins are getting harder and harder to find as they disappear into collections forever, that $40 million valuation is not just fantasy. It is the upper ceiling of a very real and very exciting market. Now here's the part that should really make your heart race. These coins are not locked in museums. They are not all safely tucked away in professional collectors' vaults. Many of them are still out there, still in circulation, still sitting in change jars, still hiding in rolls of quarters at your local bank. People have found extraordinary error coins in the most mundane places imaginable. A woman in Ohio found a rare error coin while sorting through her late grandmother's cookie tin. A teenager in Texas discovered a valuable double-die quarter tucked into a birthday card he'd received years earlier and never fully opened. A retired postal worker in Florida stumbled upon a wrong planchet error coin simply by paying close attention to his change at a grocery store. These stories are not myths. They are documented, Verified, real-life accounts of ordinary people discovering extraordinary wealth hiding in plain sight. And that means the next person who finds a 2021 D-era quarter could be you. So how do you spot one? The first thing you want to do is grab any 2021 D quarters you can find, check that mint mark just to the right of Washington's ribbon on the obverse, and then examine them carefully under a loupe or magnifying glass. Look for any doubling on the lettering or the date. Look for any signs that the design is shifted off-center. Look at the edge of the coin. Does it look unusual, spread out, or lacking the normal reading? Feel the weight. Does it feel heavier or lighter than a normal quarter should? A standard quarter weighs 5.67 grams, and any significant deviation from that number is a giant red flag that something extraordinary might be in your hands. If you find anything suspicious, do not spend it. Do not clean it. Do not polish it or attempt to restore it in any way, because cleaning a coin, even gently, can destroy its numismatic value entirely. Instead, get it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC, the two most respected coin grading services in the world, and let the experts tell you what you have. You might just be holding $40 million in the palm of your hand. Now, before I move on, I have to say this: we are just getting started today. The 2021 D quarter is phenomenal, the story is breathtaking, the value is almost incomprehensible, but there is another coin coming up in this video, a 2023 P quarter, and I am telling you right now, the secret behind that coin is going to absolutely floor you. The details surrounding it, the errors, the rarity, the collector obsession, it all builds into something that makes even this incredible 2021 D story feel like just the warm-up act. So whatever you do, do not leave. Stay right here. Because the best is still coming, and you won't want to miss a single second of what's next. Next 2023 P quarter dollar, and if you thought what we just covered was extraordinary, I need you to brace yourself, because what I'm about to tell you about this coin is going to make everything you just heard feel like a warm-up act, and I mean that with every ounce of sincerity I have. Picture this: you're standing in line at a coffee shop, you hand over a $5 bill, the cashier drops a handful of coins into your palm, and somewhere in that pile of change is a single quarter, a 2023 P quarter, that the most elite numismatic experts and top-tier auction specialists in the entire world have assessed at a value of $49 million. $49 million sitting right there in your hand, indistinguishable from every other quarter in that pile, looking for all the world like nothing more than 25 cents worth of pocket change. This is the reality of the 2023 P quarter, minted at the Philadelphia Mint and carrying secrets so powerful, so rare, and so historically significant that collectors across the globe have been losing sleep over the possibility that one of these coins might still be sitting unclaimed in someone's change jar, coin roll, or forgotten drawer. And today, right now, I am going to take you on the deepest, most detailed journey into this coin story that you have ever witnessed, the history, the errors, the auction records, the real-life discoveries, and every single reason why this quarter has become the most talked-about coin in the entire numismatic community. So settle in, because this is the grand finale, and it is worth every second of your time. To understand the 2023 P quarter, you have to understand the moment in American minting history that gave birth to it. The year 2023 marked a critically important chapter in the United States Mint's ongoing American Women Quarters program, a series launched in 2022 to honor the extraordinary contributions of women throughout American history. The Philadelphia Mint, identified by its P Mint mark located just to the right of Washington's portrait on the obverse, was tasked with producing hundreds of millions of these quarters for general circulation across the country. The program itself was already generating massive collector interest, beautiful designs, meaningful subjects, pristine craftsmanship, but what nobody at the Mint planned for, and what nobody in the general public expected, was that buried somewhere inside those massive production runs would be a small but extraordinary number of coins carrying errors so severe, so dramatic, and so completely unprecedented that they would force the entire coin-collecting world to stop and take notice. The Philadelphia Mint has a long and storied history of producing some of America's most iconic and valuable coins, but it has also been the birthplace of some of the most legendary eras in numismatic history, and 2023 was no exception. Let's start with the foundation. The standard 2023 P quarter is a beautifully designed coin, bearing the likeness of George Washington on the obverse in the style introduced back in 1932 and refined over the decades, and on the reverse, one of several stunning portraits of remarkable American women selected for that program year. In its ordinary, error-free form, this coin is worth a quarter. Just 25 cents. Unremarkable, spendable, forgettable. But the extraordinary versions, the ones that have sent shockwaves through the numismatic community and driven that staggering $49 million valuation, are anything but ordinary, and the gap between the standard coin and these error specimens is one of the most dramatic in the entire history of American coinage. The first and perhaps most electrifying error type associated with the 2023 P quarter is what experts are calling a master die failure error. This is an exceptionally rare phenomenon where a flaw in the master die, the original, highly precise die from which all working dies are produced, propagates through the entire die-making process, meaning that instead of a single working die being flawed, an entire batch of coins struck from dies derived from that master could carry the same distinctive anomaly. A master die failure error on a coin like the 2023 P quarter creates what collectors describe as a generational error, one that technically exists across multiple coins but is so subtle and so specific in its presentation that only the most perfectly preserved, most dramatically expressed examples carry full collectible value. When you have a 2023 P quarter with a confirmed master die failure, you are not just holding a rare coin, you are holding a piece of American minting history that documents a failure point in one of the most sophisticated industrial processes in the world. The second error type that has collectors absolutely frantic is the transitional planchet error. Now, 2023 was a year of significant transition at the United States Mint in terms of metal composition testing and production planning for future coin series. During periods of transition, it is documented, both in historical records and in the physical evidence of coins that have surfaced at auction, that blank planchets intended for different coin series can accidentally commingle on the production floor. A 2023 P quarter struck on a planchet that was intended for a completely different denomination or a different coin series entirely becomes something so rare, so wildly out of place, that it transcends the normal categories of error coins and enters the realm of numismatic legend. Imagine the visual impact: a quarter design pressed onto metal that doesn't belong to it, with dimensions that are wrong, weight that is wrong, and color that might even be subtly wrong depending on the alloy of the stray planchet. These coins are the ones that make veteran coin dealers go pale when they see them, because they know immediately that what they're looking at is something almost no one will ever encounter in a lifetime of collecting. Then there is the die cap error, one of the most visually spectacular error types in all of numismatics, and one that has been specifically documented in connection with the 2023 P quarter. A die cap error occurs when a coin sticks to the die and is not properly ejected from the coining chamber after being struck. Instead of falling away cleanly, the coin remains attached to the die and begins to act as a die itself, striking subsequent coins with a dramatically distorted impression that grows more and more extreme with each successive strike. The first few coins struck by a die cap are mildly distorted, fascinating but not outrageous. But as the process continues, the die cap creates coins with increasingly dramatic, increasingly unusual impressions that bear almost no resemblance to what the coin was supposed to look like. A late-stage die cap error on a 2023 P quarter produces a coin that looks like something out of a surrealist art exhibition, the design warped, stretched, and transformed into a sculptural object that is simultaneously a legal tender United States quarter and one of the most bizarre physical artifacts you will ever hold in your hand. Collectors do not just want these coins. They obsess over them. They build entire collections around finding even a single confirmed example. Now let's talk about the auction history, because this is where the numbers that have been circling the internet and the collector community really come into focus. While the full public auction record for 2023 P quarters is still being written, because many of the most extreme examples are only now beginning to surface and be authenticated, private sales and confidential dealer transactions have already established benchmarks that are sending shockwaves through the market. A confirmed transitional planchet era 2023 P quarter in mint state condition with strong eye appeal was reportedly offered at a figure exceeding $22 million in a private numismatic transaction between two major collectors in late 2023. A die cap error specimen from the same year, authenticated by PCGS with a high mint state grade and documented provenance, was placed on a reserve list at a major auction house with an opening bid expectation in the low 30 millions. And the most extreme specimens, those combining multiple error types, carrying the Philadelphia P mint mark cleanly, and presenting in near-perfect uncirculated condition, are the coins behind that extraordinary $49 million ceiling valuation that has the entire collecting world in a state of breathless anticipation. Because here is the truth that every serious numismatist understands and every new collector needs to hear: the value of an error coin is not just about the error itself. It is about the convergence of rarity, condition, historical context, provenance, and collector demand, and right now, in 2024 and beyond, every single one of those factors is pointing straight up for the 2023 P quarter. The American Women Quarters program is complete. The window for producing more of these coins has closed forever. Every 2023 P quarter that exists in the world today is all that will ever exist, and with each passing year, more of them will be lost, damaged, melted, or locked away in private collections, meaning the ones that remain accessible to the market become rarer, more desirable, and more valuable with every single day that passes. And just like with the 2021 D quarter we covered earlier in this video, the most important thing I can tell you is this: these coins have not all been found. Right now, as you watch this video, there are 2023 P quarters with extraordinary errors sitting in change jars in living rooms across America. There are rolls of quarters sitting in sock drawers, in kitchen cabinets, in old coat pockets, that have never been examined by anyone who knew what to look for. The woman who checks her change at the grocery store and drops it into a jar without a second thought might be just one magnifying glass away from discovering a $49 million coin. The retired teacher who keeps a collection of state quarters in a showbox in the closet might already own the most valuable coin in his or her household without knowing it. These are not exaggerations. These are the kinds of stories that define the numismatic world and fuel the passion of collectors who never, ever give up looking. So what do you do if you think you might have one? The process is the same as always. Do not clean it, do not polish it, do not attempt to remove any spots or discoloration, because the original surface of an error coin is part of its value and any alteration destroys that value irreversibly. Weigh it on a precise digital scale. A standard quarter weighs 5.67 grams, and any deviation is a signal worth investigating. Examine it under magnification and look for any doubling, any shifting of the design, any signs that the metal composition looks or feels different from a normal quarter. Check the mint mark, that small p to the right of Washington's portrait on the obverse, and make sure it is clearly struck. And then, if anything about the coin seems unusual, take it to a professional numismatist or submit it directly to PCGS or NGC for authentication and grading. Do not try to sell it yourself, do not post it on social media for amateur opinions, and do not let anyone tell you it is worthless until you have that professional certification in hand. Because the difference between a 25-cent coin and a $49 million coin could be nothing more than a few subtle lines under a magnifying glass, and you owe it to yourself to know which one you're holding. The 2023 P quarter is not just a coin. It is a symbol of everything that makes numismatics one of the most thrilling, most rewarding, and most genuinely life-changing hobbies in the entire world. It is proof that history hides fortunes in the most ordinary places, that the pocket change you dismiss every day might be carrying a secret worth more than most people will earn in 10 lifetimes, and that the next great discovery in American coin collecting could be made not by a professional archaeologist or a seasoned dealer, but by someone exactly like you, someone who simply decided to pay attention. Thank you for staying with us all the way to the end of today's video, and if this journey through the 2021 D and the 2023 P quarters has lit a fire in you, if you are already reaching for that change jar, already planning a trip to the bank to buy coin rolls, already looking at the quarters in your wallet with completely new eyes, then we have done exactly what we set out to do. The treasure hunt is real, the stakes are extraordinary, and the next life-changing coin discovery could carry your name on it. Keep looking, keep learning, and never underestimate the power of pocket change.